Hello, hello. This is the 162nd Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2224, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast for the 162nd episode.
Yep, 162.
Nice to be there again. And nice to see that our listeners are there as well. Assuming that they're there.
We always assume that. We tend to get emails, so that's the way we can confirm it.
Yes. And at the moment we're still recording, so at the moment they're not listening yet.
Not to us listening in the room right now. No.
Exactly. But while they are listening it, we're no longer recording.
Correct. There's a time delay there.
Yes. So another week, another episode. But before we start with the episode, we may have to explain...
that noise there. Because usually you don't make that noise when you move your feet around.
Yes.
Maybe you explain for our listeners why you're making that noise when you move your feet around.
Yeah, exactly. Normally we shovel our feet very quietly, but now I can't because I can't get my gaming slippers off.
So your gaming slippers are stuck to your feet.
Yes, and I mean, you know, but the listeners don't. I was at the wall, Skyline Plaza earlier today, actually an hour ago, playing a quick round of Magnet Run. And the slippers didn't come off.
I see. Like, were they, when you put them on, did they feel especially tight?
No, just like normal. And actually, at the moment, they also feel like normal.
Ah, okay, but they're just not disengaging.
Yeah, exactly. They just, they snap tight.
Yeah.
And then you play around a Magnet Run. And for that, they need to be really tight.
Of course. Don't want your foot sliding out when you're upside down.
No. That I mean, they're made to be really tight. But of course, they need to let you out. Of course. They don't do...
Not yet. Maybe later in the show, but
yeah. And I told them because it's our, stick around, we'll figure it out, we'll call somebody, tech support, whatever. And I was like, I need to be somewhere, and I was either like not record or delay the recording, or just take the slippers.
Sure. So did you need to leave like a deposit? Are these rental ones?
I mean, I left my shoes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good deposit.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, I'm usually. Walking bare feet anyway, so I'm not in a hurry. I mean, these slippers are really fancy, so they're super expensive. So I'm kind of hoping them saying, "Never mind, you keep them."
I mean, as long as you can get them off at some point, that would be pretty cool. If your feet literally have to stay inside of them for the rest of your life, maybe less so.
Good point. Okay, and I'll check. Maybe I'll get a message.
Not least for the noises you make while we record.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. Yeah. Okay, it's going to be done forever in each episode. Yeah, and then also if they're in there for weeks and then they come off, I don't want to be around when that happens.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Gaming slippers.
Episode done. That was our topic. Yeah.
That was the episode. Gaming slippers. Any questions? No, it's a different topic this week.
Right.
It's crazy teleporter locations.
That's it.
We assume that after over 150 episodes, the listeners know what teleporters are.
Yeah.
And everybody else knows what teleporters are.
Everyone knows. And if they don't, they can listen back to previous episodes, but we leave that as an exercise for the listener.
Exactly. Listen back to episodes 29, 30, 31, 32. We basically speak about it in every episode, I think.
Probably.
But
that's what teleporters, okay, that's clear. We're talking about really strange locations where people have teleported to, where we have perhaps, and so on.
Exactly. I mean, we have them in our buildings. You use them to teleport to work or to friends or when you go to the mall or to go sightseeing or a holiday, or you basically use them for every mode of transport. Yeah. Which also means that they are everywhere. Most of the places are boring and standard and usual.
Exactly. Going to work, going to school, going shopping, just your standard locations.
Yeah, but some locations are pretty cool. And sometimes you can get there with a standard plan. Sometimes you need to pay a bit more depending on the location. If it's expensive to maintain the teleporter there, then you need to pay a bit more or just use more of your credit.
Exactly. Some locations are very secret. You need to go through several relays, like the bacchanals. I think we talked about that.
And also like some are invite only and so on. So many different aspects to keep in mind. But but I mean, we've been around for a while. Teleporters have been around for a while. So we both teleport quite a bit. So we both have had our experiences, I guess, on purpose and by accident.
Exactly, both.
So you want to maybe kick it off with?
Yeah, just a unusual location that I've teleported to, yeah. Probably, well, this is a fun one. There's this big purple dinosaur holding a huge hot dog that it's taken a bite out of. So it's pretty fun. I teleport to on top of the dinosaur's head, looking down at it's right by a highway or a motorway or an autobahn, depending which country our listeners are from. So anyway, you're looking down at the cars whizzing by, and then if you peek over the nose of the dinosaur, you can see it's taken a big bite out of the hot dog.
Whoa.
And it's pretty high up, so maybe I'm not saying the scale here. I don't know how many meters, let's say 50 meters. It's really tall.
And the teleporter is actually on the dinosaur's
head. You teleport, you come out of the teleporter on its head.
Can you then go anywhere, or is basically you stand there and you go back?
You can slide down its back a bit like a slide, but I haven't done that myself because it's not like a flat slide, you know. I'd be worried about falling, like curling down the side.
Ah, okay. And if you slide down, you can't get back up, I guess.
Exactly, and then I would have to walk home.
Okay.
Or hitch a lift, I guess.
Yeah. This is probably the craziest location that I've ever heard of.
I didn't mean to start so strong. Maybe I should have saved that for later.
How
about you?
I was going to start with the beach.
But that's not. I mean, beach is nice, but
it's not.
What makes it unusual?
Yeah, I was not sure whether to include it or not, but particularly if you have a very touristic beach, right?
Okay, yeah.
Blue sea, wide ocean, or the other way around. White sand,
white sands,
water,
yeah,
palm trees, whatever. Popular beaches that everybody knows. If you go there really early in the morning, like 6 in the morning or so, there's hardly anybody there. But what's fun is if it's a really popular beach, there are a lot of teleporters. So then basically go into the water and then watch the beach. In the morning when it starts to fill up, because then you see a whole lot of teleporters at the edge of the beach, and then they're constantly popping out people. Bling, bling, and they're all carrying inflatables and towels and drinks and whatever, and so they're constantly popping out. You know, because they're coming out of nowhere, and it's super quiet. You're the only one on the beach, or one of the very few people, and then after a certain time, suddenly, poof, poof, poof. Like a virus, the beach starts to fill up with people.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah, so it's not so much of a crazy location, but it's a crazy...
The experience of watching all the people actually appear.
Exactly.
Okay, I can see how that's unusual. Not unusual, but something interesting. Okay, but then shall we go back and forth?
Yeah, good.
So another one. So in an animal enclosure at the zoo. So to teleport into, for example, the gorilla enclosure. And then you're in amongst them, and then you're looking out, I guess similar to what you were just describing. You're looking either out through the glass or up, if you're down in one of the pits, at all the visitors to the zoo. And you've got to get in and out pretty quickly, depending on the moods of the gorillas. Sometimes they're totally cool to relax with you, but other times they're like, oi, this is my place, get out.
I'm trying to remember, was it the San Diego Zoo? They had it where they had one day where they didn't have any animals in the zoo.
Okay.
And the humans could teleport inside the cages. So you could...
and then they had the animals actually being where the people normally
Exactly. So the normal zoo access was closed, and then the animals were set free. But as humans, you could still go there, but you could only teleport inside the cages and inside the enclosures. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't do it, but I saw it.
It's a really nice idea, yeah.
Talking about animals, maybe that is actually a pretty crazy location, although it's closed. It's the Yeti Cave.
Yeah. Otherwise known as the abominable. I can't say it. Abominable snowman.
Yeah, that's why I say Yeti.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because they put one there, was super popular, and it was very much upsetting the Yeti,
of course,
and the family, of course. So at one point it was just too much over tourism. They couldn't get a rest. There was constantly people there. At one point it was just during daytime, just a few hours, and then they upped the money. And at one point they said, okay, no, if we want to have these people and give them a stress-free life, then we should close it. So you can only now look at it from afar, which is, I guess, okay. But
But you can't teleport directly into the cave.
Yeah, no, they closed down. The teleporter is actually still there, though. I guess they're still using it maybe for maintenance or...
Maybe. I mean, the Yeti can use the teleporter itself.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good point.
But just... I mean, we'll come back to that later in the episode, I guess, yeah. Point being, the Yeti's got it set up that it can use the teleporter and its family can use the teleporter, but people can't go to visit uninvited.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's think. I'm just looking. So earlier I prepared a little list here so that I wouldn't have to think off the top of my head.
Smart.
So another real fun one to teleport to is in Florida, to teleport onto the back of an alligator.
Wow.
Ride it around for a bit.
So there's an elevator. An
elevator. No, a teleporter on the back of an alligator.
Okay, a telegator.
Telegator, yeah.
Okay, an elevator. Okay.
There's no elevators involved.
So the alligator is carrying a teleporter on its back?
I guess a small portable model.
Okay, cool.
Waterproof too.
You're really into teleporting on top of animals.
Dinosaur and an alligator. But the dinosaur, maybe I wasn't clear earlier, it's a sculpture, it's not actually alive.
Okay.
That's why you were really shocked. I wondered why you were so surprised. Yeah, sorry, no. Just a big sculpture of a purple dinosaur holding, also like as part of the same sculpture, the hot dog. The hot dog isn't a real hot dog.
Okay. Cool. Very animal-heavy, crazy locations.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is in the actual pyramids.
In Egypt.
Exactly, a good point. Yeah, the Egyptian pyramids, where that's the interesting thing. So they made the teleporters look like a sarcophagus. So, I mean, they're not the original sarcophagi.
Of course.
Sarcophaguses.
Those two words.
But because they're also there, of course, but then they put some additional ones which function as a teleporter. But the interesting is the mummies take to them as well. So, I mean, they don't know how to use a teleporter, but because it looks like a sarcophagus, they tend to use it as well. So sometimes you teleport there, you step out of the teleporter, and behind you, a mummy steps out of the teleporter because that's always been there.
Sure.
That's kind of weird.
I can imagine.
A little scary.
I mean, for both of you, like, so for you as the person teleporting there, and for the mummy, all of a sudden having a person like smushed up against it.
Good point, actually. It's the kind of thing where, some people are scared of spiders. Imagine what we look like to a spider. You never think about that.
Indeed, yeah.
It's the same for the mummies, I guess. They must be
minding their own business, laying in a sarcophagus, and all of a sudden someone pops in on top of them.
And then we go like, "Oh, a guy dressed in toilet paper, scary." Yeah, just imagine how you look to him.
No toilet paper whatsoever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one on my list here. I guess there are animals involved again. So teleporting just below the surface of the ocean, I guess, in the waters around Hawaii to swim with the turtles.
But then, is the teleporter waterproof, or are you just immediately appearing in the water?
Exactly. Teleporting into underwater. Before you do that, you get your snorkel on, change into whatever, your swimming trunks or whatever, that you don't get your clothes wet. And then, teleport directly underwater.
Okay.
Take a big breath first.
Yeah, I can imagine. But then, does it detect up front that you're wearing the proper gear? Like
as part of the safety protocols? Yeah, exactly. If you're not, if you haven't got a snorkel on, and if you haven't got your gold swimming badge, that it knows you can swim, then it won't teleport you. You have to know how to swim.
You get the message, and you don't get through. Okay, because that happened to me occasionally, which is a good thing, because you want to teleport somewhere that you have
even like standard locations, like a volcano. Yeah, so you just want to wear your jet pants and lava boots and go play around some lava. But okay, it checks that you are actually wearing those.
Or I even had it that I was teleporting to a pretty sunny location and I hadn't put a suntan,
sunscreen. You mean?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Yeah, 10 I didn't get either yet. But exactly. So it detects that and doesn't let you through until you put sunscreen on. And then it worked. So, which is good, I guess.
Yeah.
Some standard protection.
Yeah, I think that's that way makes the most sense. If you pay extra, as always, and have a more fancy subscription, when you teleport, it will apply the sunscreen or it will put the snorkel on you or whatever.
True. I never paid.
Can't teach you to swim though. So if you can't swim already, it will still detect that.
Fair point. It particularly works well if you use the the I feel lucky button, because if you don't know where you're going and you don't have this check and you do end up somewhere where it's very sunny or very, very, very hot,
Or very, very cold.
Or very
You know,
underwater.
Especially when you're going from one place to another. Yes, so say you've just been swimming in the waters off Hawaii with the turtles, very warm, very nice, and then you instantly teleported to Antarctica, and you hadn't changed your clothes or whatever. You'd be in trouble, get hypothermia. So it takes care of that kind of thing too.
Yeah, because that's I haven't used it so much recently. But especially when it was new, I used the I feel lucky all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
just for variety.
Why do I have to decide where I want to go today? And equally interesting, which is, I guess, kind of the same thing, just not always on purpose, when you mistype the geo coordinates.
Yeah. By the location, either, as you say, coordinates, or just make a typo in the spelling of the name of a place.
Yeah.
Or the place you want to go to doesn't exist anymore. Stuff like that.
And also, and of course, every teleporter has an ID, so you can just also say, hey, you go to a friend's ID, and then you type it in, you mistype it, you end up in somebody else's house, which has happened to me more times than I can remember.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that many.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I teleport a lot, and I'm, I guess, more of a...
Yeah, if someone hasn't got their firewall on, and you... Yeah. Because if their firewall's on, it'll bounce you back. Yeah, you'll get the message, hey, you can't go there, and then you'll probably notice, oh, this is the wrong address, or the wrong number, or whatever. But right, if they've not got that on, you just appear in their living room, or they're watching something or whatever, and then they go, hey, who are you? And you go, oh, who are you? And,
I mean, that's especially the thing, like with I Feel Lucky, if you don't have this setup, I mean, any location that doesn't have any security setup is then available, which most of the time is just people's houses. Yeah, so which I guess maybe that's why I don't use it that often anymore, because most of the time you just end up in the house of a stranger. Sometimes you have a good conversation. Sometimes you have a maybe you want to put something on conversation. Yeah. You know that happened to Napoleon. I mean, that's what he's telling anyway. He said he ended up in the bathroom of the president of Paraguay.
Oh, well, was the president there at the time?
No.
In the bathroom? No. Okay.
No. But of course, like normal people forgetting their security, but the president of Paraguay forgetting their security.
Yeah, I mean,
especially
maybe
in the
not
bathroom.
their own responsibility, but you would assume their staff, like the security detail, for example, should take care of that.
And also, sometimes you just quickly put the security off for whatever reason. You forget to put it back on. But like in a place like a bathroom, you can imagine that it's actually on permanently. I can't really come up with a reason. Maybe it was maintenance.
Or, the president had eaten something that disagreed and wanted to have immediate access to their bathroom wherever they were. That's why it was switched off. That doesn't really hold, though, because they would have to... they would be authorized to go in there, yeah? The friend of the president, who wasn't authorized to go in there, really needed to go to the toilet. This again. I can't think
Or the other way around. The president really wanted to have some, out-of-the-box discussion, like we need to discuss this right now. Okay, come over to where I am. Oh, I have all these security settings on, but we need to talk about it right now. Then just come through my bathroom. My security detail isn't watching that. Something like that. I don't know. We're just speculating. I'm not even sure if it's true. You never know.
You heard it from Napoleon, but maybe Napoleon was misinformed.
Or he just made something up. I don't know.
Or that.
But yeah, I mean, I've also had cool experiences with this. Did you use it? I Feel Lucky.
Yeah, I had better luck than you. Yeah, for the most part, I guess it's basing where it teleports me on the other things I like. So then I tend to show up where I want to be.
Okay.
Or maybe I didn't think of it ahead of time, but then when I go there, it's like, oh yeah, I was thinking about coming here.
Cool. So it's not completely random. It's kind of randomized but tailored to you.
Either that, or I was just very, very lucky.
Okay. Maybe you pressed the I feel very, very, very lucky button.
Yep. I had an extension installed. Inserted those 3 varies between I feel and lucky. Yep. Okay.
But do you remember any example or?
Nah, not really. I haven't used it in a long time.
I'm one that I really particularly liked. I ended up in a fountain once.
With water?
Yeah, so I was actually then getting wet. Yes, the teleporter was also half flooded. I mean, not half flooded, I guess the bottom, 30 centimeters or so. And this was even this famous fountain in Rome, where they had many, many years of political debate whether they should put a teleporter in the middle of this, centuries-old fountain. But then in the end they did. And it's a one-way teleporter, so you can get out, but you can't get back in.
Sure. Otherwise, there'll be people who all climbing into the fountain non-stop.
Exactly. They climb in to use the teleporter, and also because it's very popular, there's constantly people coming out, and if you also have people coming in, it's kind of clumsy. So you get out, you're in the fountain, you record yourself there, and then you step out of the fountain, kind of.
Yeah.
But that's I thought that was pretty cool. And one time I ended up in a board meeting.
Of like a board meeting of anything you were involved with?
No, not at all. I mean, this was just on a random in the weekend. I think it was on a Wednesday. It was
So did they notice you joined the meeting, or did you like teleport in at the back and no one even noticed you were there? Or
no, they noticed.
Okay.
But they didn't really seem to mind.
I guess they assumed you were meant to be there.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think it was, not on purpose, but I think they had the security off on purpose, so they were kind of used to sometimes people appearing randomly. I guess they weren't discussing very confidential things. I'm trying to remember now which company it was. It was a while ago now,
but at the time maybe you would have overheard something that could have been really interesting.
True. It was some tech company, but I can't remember which one now.
I did realize, you asked if I had any good or notable places that I had teleported when I used the I Feel Lucky button. And I guess it's not notable in the sense of similar to you. I didn't know actually where I was. So you didn't know which company it was. I don't know where I was. But it was pretty interesting because it was just somewhere completely dark and completely quiet.
Wow. So you didn't see anything?
Didn't see anything, couldn't hear anything. And it was so quiet, like I could hear my own heartbeat. I could hear like my blood moving through my veins. It was that kind of quiet,
Wow.
So it was pretty interesting.
So maybe you were nowhere.
Possibly so. Or in one of those chambers where they test, devices to make sure they don't make electronic wine.
And then suddenly you see a light pop up in the distance, shining on a desk where one person is sitting, something like this.
Yeah, something like that. Luckily, it wasn't a one-way teleporter and the back button worked.
Okay.
Because otherwise I don't know how I would have got out of there.
I love the back button.
It's very handy.
As if you land somewhere, like, oh no, this is not where I was going to be, or where I wanted to be, and then tap the back button and back you go. But this dark and quiet place, maybe this is really nowhere. Maybe they put one teleporter.
I see what you mean.
Nowhere. Wow. You remember where this was? I would love to try that out.
I forgot to bookmark it, unfortunately. That's the tricky thing. There's no forward button, so you go back. You can't see, okay, well, where was I before? Because that would be a forward button, but there is no forward button.
Yeah, it's just a back button.
Yeah.
Maybe we can hit the cams to find out. Okay, that's going to be a lot of work. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, maybe ask someone else to do that on our behalf.
Yes, definitely. Okay. I guess that those were some crazy teleporter locations.
Yeah, I think so. We think of enough for another episode. Maybe we'll do that in the future.
Part 2. Or then maybe we do another live episode and we go to one crazy location.
Actually, yeah.
Top of a mountain.
Exactly, either some of the ones we talked about today or even we find new ones.
Bottom of the mountain, middle of the mountain, side of the mountain. Okay, then we have a listener email.
Yeah, would you like to read that or shall I?
No, you read it.
It's a very, I shall. It's a really in-depth, so I'm joking. So this is an email from Geoffrey, and Geoffrey writes, "Love your show, bye."
Yes.
Thank you very much, Geoffrey.
We often read the ones where there's questions and we have something to answer, but we also like these ones.
Yeah.
And it nicely...
Geoffrey loves our show.
Exactly. He put the episode number in the subject, so we know that this particular episode I'm back was, and then also says, "Love the show, bye." Nice.
It's good stuff.
Thanks, Geoffrey.
Shall I let the listeners know how they can do that?
Yes.
So, as Geoffrey did, please write to michaellasagna5@gmail.com and put the episode number in the subject, which in this case is 162. That way we'll know this successfully went back in time.
All right. Then, thanks for listening and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.